With all the latest football news and discussion from the football world, this is Football Central. And go.
Hello and welcome to the Football Central review of Match Week 5, is it? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I am your host, your co-host, Jordan, also known as JLIWheels, and joining me is England's version of Darth Vader, Mr. Deep Breather himself. It is Mr. TubeMix. How are we doing?
I'm good, mate. Looking forward to it again. You know, we've had some really good shows over the last couple of nights, so yeah, let's hope it's another good one.
We will be joined by Mr. Sam soon enough, I should think.
Sam the Statman Taylor, as I nicknamed him.
We should see. If he's a stat man, I think we need some better stats.
Oh ho ho ho.
We should see. So, what did we think about it this week?
Well, it's been we've had a few crazy results, haven't we? Obviously,
We really have, yeah.
It just goes to show, you know, you think you figured the whole season out by a couple of results, and you know that's the great thing about football is you just never know what it's going to be like. That's why we love it. You know, it throws you in, you know, in a certain way sometimes by, you know, results and stuff.
Football as a sport is really interesting. I think so many people have so many misconceptions about football, but football as a sport is so interesting because it's kind of really hard to predict.
Yes.
As we know.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really interesting for me.
Yes. Okay, so we'll start, I think, Monday the 26th of October, and in the Premier League, the first game of this week was Brighton and West Brom. It finished.
No.
Oh no, sorry.
The last game of this week.
Oh dear. Hang on.
Great start. The first game of this week was Villa and Leeds.
That was it. Oh yeah, whoops. Lost the plot already. Hey, and I tell you what, it's quite impressive for Patrick Bamford, you know. It's not often that, you know, you win 3-0 and you get the player to score, you know, a hat-trick. That is quite something.
No, I know. He's not, you know, he's one of those that's had a lot of, you know, he's been away at a lot of clubs.
Middlesbrough, yeah, wasn't he there?
Played for Chelsea, obviously, went to MK Dons, and then went to Middlesbrough, then went to Palace and Norwich. And
oh wow, he's been around then.
Palace and Norwich, Middlesbrough, where's the other one? There is another one. Burnley.
Wow.
Before settling in at Leeds.
And I bet he'll be off soon.
Yeah, and he seems to have done well there, and you know, it was a high class hat trick.
No, off as in leave, but I said I joked.
No, I just ignored it. I'm just carrying on.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, it was a really high class hat trick. He did very well, and he's adapted to the Premier League very well, and you know, that's all you can expect really from a player to be able to do that and sort of
Yes. Now, when we predicted this, I think I was going for a really high goal scoring game, but I thought it was going to be a draw because Villa have been absolutely flying, have come out flying, this season. And yet, but obviously Leeds, they suffered a defeat, didn't they? I think the game before Wolves, that was it. So maybe, obviously Leeds were maybe the more hungrier, I would guess, possibly.
You went for your favourite scoreline, didn't you say 3-3?
I did, I think. Well, because I just thought Leeds, the way they play, they are so attacking, but they do let in, they have let in a lot of goals in. And I thought Villa would also, it would be a good game because Villa would also, because of their start. So actually, I think 3-3 as a prediction on paper was actually, not a bad prediction. I mean, you could see why, the reasons.
I mean, I think if we're going to talk about Leeds and Villa, it really was for me. It was like, trying to see what Villa are made of again, and I was looking forward to seeing Grealish play well and Barkley play well, and Patrick Bamford just stole the show.
Yeah, the Patrick Bamford show. And here's a stat for you. So Patrick Bamford has scored 6 goals in Leeds' first 6 league games this season. Only the legend that is Eric Cantona in 1992-93 has scored as many goals for the club at this stage of a Premier League campaign.
Interesting.
It is. I mean, obviously, to be in the same list as Eric Cantona. I mean, an absolute, legend of the game, of both Leeds and United. Like I said, I was very surprised when I saw the result because, I just thought, and also, Leeds, they could be very pleased with this win because obviously the big issue for Leeds, as I said, they're really good attacking, but if you end up conceding a lot of goals, that isn't going to be particularly good for you. But they kept their first clean sheet, and that's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before. I really like the Leeds goalie, Meslier.
Yeah.
I think he's really good, and he's only young. So you can only get better, can't you, from a young age? And
oh, absolutely. I mean, he'll be learning. The whole team, I mean, it's pretty much a young team, isn't it? Because isn't Patrick Bamford certainly not old, is he?
Patrick Bamford, I think, is 26.
Oh, right, okay.
So he's kind of in that kind of prime.
Yeah.
Age. You could probably say he's sort of at a point where he's in his prime. And boy, he's showing it a little bit, isn't he? I mean,
definitely.
You look at the goals he's scoring. It's instinct rather than world class play.
Yeah.
And it takes Leeds up to third, obviously, doesn't it? So
yes.
I thought we've talked about this season a lot, and I think Leeds, for Leeds to be in third with.
They would have bit your hand off, I think, if you said that, any Leeds fan.
I guess for all the mid-table clubs, the situation still has to be I always think with any mid-table team, get to 40 points and see where we are. Now Leeds. I think obviously Bielsa being an ambitious coach, I think he's not going to think like that. He's just going to think we'll do the best we can.
Yeah.
Which is fine and that. that works for teams and stuff. I think that it's important, obviously, to have those ambitions and to feel like you can do well and stuff. The thing is with Leeds as a team, they've got 10 points in 6 games with a team that's full of don't get me wrong, there are good players. Meslier is very good. Luke Ayling is very good. Alioski is good.
Yeah.
Click is good. Helder Costa is good. Jack Harrison is great. Rodrigo is great.
Yep.
And so is Patrick Bamford. But you look at the team, all in all, and you would say, Rodrigo is a Premier League player. Harrison is probably Premier League level.
What about Calvin Phillips, particularly with him being chosen in the England squad, the past few matches?
Yeah, I think that he's obviously, there was a lot of question marks around Phillips at the time. I don't know whether I think I seem to remember talking to you about this. But when Bielsa first came in, he looked at the players that weren't fancied by the Leeds fans, like Calvin Phillips and like Luke Ayling, and they're the ones that he sort of focused on the most.
Yeah.
I think you can see that specifically with Phillips, because he's a magnificent midfield player. Obviously he didn't play against Villa as well.
No, he's out for quite a long time. I think with a shoulder injury or something.
Which is really big for Leeds, because it shows that they don't have like Phillips or Hernandez was only on the bench.
And Liam Cooper, their captain as well, was missing at the match as well.
And to be able to not have big players available and still get big wins,
that's very, very good for Leeds. Very, very good.
The mark of a good team. And I mean, you look at the Villa team as well. Emi Martinez, Matty Cash, Ezra Konsa, Tyrone Mings, Matt Target, John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Trezeguet,
Grealish,
Barkley, Grealish, Watkins, Traore coming on as a sub. These are players that we've seen for. Matt Target's been a Premier League player for years, and Mings has been been in and around the Premier League for a long time.
Yeah.
Barkley and Grealish as well, and they're not an inexperienced team, and I think it's all credit to Leeds, absolutely, for getting that result.
Absolutely. I mean, Dean Smith was saying it, Villa got away with a 3-0, so that tells you, I think, that Leeds pretty much tore them apart.
Well, the thing is that the most consistent performer for me, for Villa, is 110%. Emi Martinez. He's just a phenomenal signing, in my opinion.
Yeah. I bet Arsenal are regretting letting him go.
I don't know about that. Bernd Leno's world class, isn't he? He is a good goalie, but
yeah, though he did make a quite a big mistake, though, Leno, the other day.
No, yeah, I was going to say that he's made a couple of shaky goalkeeping decisions recently, hasn't he? But,
yeah.
No, I think that we'll see whether it's a blip in the road or Villa will start to drop points, and similarly with Leeds, like we've said about them, they're still going to win them games and lose them games, and but there's no denying it wasn't a shock.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to when Leeds face United, because especially as someone who can't really remember the last time those two met, and obviously the rivalry, it'll be really exciting to see.
Man United and Leeds is huge. Is that the next? Oh, you're on about when that game comes?
Yes, sorry.
I think that'll be really interesting. Like, genuinely, I think that would be a big game, and we'll see. But yeah, great result. Good for Bamford, a player I've always kept my eye on and enjoyed. I thought he was a great goal scorer at MK Dons. Thought he was a great goal scorer at Middlesbrough both times he was there, and then same with Leeds. He just seems to continuously do well. And I think obviously when you go into a club and Bielsa handpicked Bamford to sign, so when a manager of that ilk and that quality handpicks you, it's a hell of a confidence boost. And yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on Leeds and Villa. If there's anything else you want to say, Will?
Well, I quite like to go through, the stats because, obviously I love the stats, I do. I'm like Sam, I absolutely love. And one stats that is it's not really part of the stats, but the result for Leeds in the table, it's their highest position since September 2002. So am I correct? Was it David O'Leary in charge then, 2002?
It could have been David O'Leary.
Yeah. So let's go through the stats. So Villa.
Are we talking about? Sorry.
Apologies.
The 2001-2 season.
Well, September 2002. So yes.
No, that'd be the 2002-3 season. So,
sorry. Yeah.
Probably will be O'Leary. I'm not too sure about that, to be honest.
I'll just look it up, actually. I think I've got a feeling it was. Although I definitely knew David O'Leary was when Leeds were last in the Premier League and in the Champions League, he was their manager. And where is he these days, David O'Leary? I mean, he's not managed since some Dubai club, huh? Let's see. Right. So, yes, June 2000. Yes. So, oh wow, he actually joined Leeds. I think, according to this, the 1998 to 99 season succeeded George Graham. And I'm just looking here, the players that Leeds is, Jonathan Woodgate, Lee Boyer, who's still at Charlton, Lee Boyer as manager, Alan Smith, who used to play for United. They famously was injured in the 2007, I think, League Cup final, and they all wore shirts saying "Thank you, Smudge" or something. It's in one of my angles. Harry
Q. He was forever injured, wasn't he, Alan Smith?
What's that, sorry?
Said he was forever injured, wasn't he? He's really unlucky.
Yeah, Harry Q also. Yeah, Danny Mills. So, yeah, a lot of good players. And David O'Leary was sacked and replaced with Terry Venables. Right, yeah.
That's not a bad replacement, is it?
No, I don't think so. Although I don't really know much about him as a manager. I mostly know him pretty much as a pundit, because especially for ITV, for the Premiership and stuff. But anyway, let's go through the stats. So Villa had 41% possession, while Leeds had 59%, so Leeds dominating in possession. Aston Villa had 12 shots, while Leeds had 27 shots. Aston Villa had 4 shots on target, while Leeds had 9. Aston Villa had 6 corners, while Leeds had 5. And Aston Villa had 14 fouls, with Leeds with 17. So, obviously... 9 no, 4 shots on target. If you only have that, that's another not great sign, particularly for Villa. And I'm just looking here just before we move on. I think the picture is Tyrone Mings looking like he's made an absolute block again. You know, similar to I was telling you the time for Bournemouth. Was it for Bournemouth or for Villa when the goalkeeper was out of his net? No, I think it was for Villa, and he made that absolute block. Oh, probably one of the best blocks you'll see, I think. Anyway, so Click, I think, is it Click? Click?
Matthias Click.
Click, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. So he assisted in the 67th minute and held the Costa assist in the 74th minute, and for some reason it doesn't have the assist for the 55-minute goal. I'm not sure quite why that is, but maybe it wasn't assist, maybe. Oh no, but it would say a penalty. Well, anyway, not quite sure about that. So, anyway, Aston Villa beat Leeds. That was Friday the 23rd of October. Now we move on to Saturday the 24th of October's games. And we start with West Ham v Manchester City. City have been a bit of a weird team, haven't they? I mean, they got absolutely battered by Leicester. They beat Arsenal. But then draw against West Ham. I don't know what's going on at City, really. They are having a really weird season. It's not good for them though. Sergio Aguero, he's out for a couple of weeks again, so that's really not great for them. But
he's had another 4 weeks, and he's out.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely, if they can get a striker in January, they really need to get to, because Aguero's not exactly a young player, and if he's having quite a lot of injuries, I mean, when you're an old player, it's quite hard to come back from an injury. Well, not just a young player. If you have an injury, well, in anything, when you're older, obviously the body, it's hard to recover, basically. Compared to when you're young. So yeah, I think Aguero, I think he'll be lucky if he manages it. He might never be the same player again, maybe. But we'll see. And Gabriel Jesus, he's out as well. I think it was Ferran Torres, the winger who they signed from Valencia. I think he started centrally. I'm pretty sure. I'll check that. Right. Oh no, it was Raheem Sterling, I think. No, Torres was on the bench. So Raheem Sterling. Foden, which was really interesting, played as a winger, I think, which quite interests me. Obviously, he's usually a number 10. You got anything to say about City?
It's really it's just a strange scenario, because they are so up and down. Some games they've looked like the best team in the league, and other games they've looked, bang average.
Yeah. I mean, Leicester absolutely battered them, they did. I saw that game, they were absolutely crushed. They crushed City that game.
But I think it's like, there is the other thing of, like, West Ham are a team that are in pretty decent form at the minute.
Yes, they've done. We were tipping them to have a really bad season, and to give them credit, I mean they've had some really, really good results. Yeah.
It's and the thing is as well is, like, they've got what's his name, Mikel Antonio, who
Yeah.
always seems to be in quite good form.
And I think he's an injury concern now, I think. Which is not great if he's out again, especially because he's quite struggled with injury.
He's good, isn't he?
Oh, he is,
Yeah,
yeah. I've always liked him.
The thing about him is like it's kind of like the pace and power and dribbling, and his finishing does seem to get better as well.
Yeah.
Has seemed to get better as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great result for West Ham.
Very, very good result.
So West Ham, it might not be the best result for City, but it definitely is a great result for West Ham. And
I think David Moyes has to get a lot of credit, I think.
Well, I never ever thought I would hear you say that.
Well, no, because, obviously, I mean, yes, he did okay at Everton. I know he was there for many years. Obviously, didn't do well at United, didn't do well at Sunderland, didn't do well at Real Sociedad. Kept West Ham up, obviously, but they wanted Pellegrini. Then Pellegrini's out. But yeah, I mean, obviously Jared Bowen is a quality signing because, you know, I think Hall has definitely really missed him since he's gone, Jared Bowen. And Shuchek, probably not pronounced his name right either.
Yeah.
But he seems a really good player. Declan Rice, you know, again.
Was it a handball in the build-up?
What's that, sorry?
Was it a handball for you from Suchek in the build-up?
Are you asking me, or what I thought, or?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you.
Oh, no, I don't think so. No.
I just don't. In fact, there's not much point talking about the. You know, there's no point doing the handball situation because I don't know what is and what isn't. I mean, how can that, you know, not be given as one, but one where Eric Dyer's back is facing away from the ball and he can't even see the ball? Still.
Oh, well, it's a strange thing, isn't it? The new rules.
It's weird that it's a unbelievably strange kind of.
I mean, players, I bet they're very nervous, you know, now because of the new rules, you know. So.
Actually, would be, I think, though.
I'd be terrified if I was a player.
No, I agree.
Going back to City. Oh, sorry.
No, go on, you first.
The biggest weakness for City is they do need a decent left back. Mendy is absolutely garbage.
Well, the thing is like, you know, let's not get it twisted. Mendy is a good player, but he's not a good left back.
Well, that's his main position, though.
No, exactly. That's his problem. Is he's a good player, but he's not a good player for the position that he needs to play.
Oh.
Makes sense. Like, I feel like you could put him somewhere else.
Well, I don't know where else he'd play.
Like, a left mid or whatever. You could put him at, like, left mid or what have you.
Maybe he'd be better as a left wing back, maybe.
Yeah, but even then, like, they've still got to be good in the transition and things like that, you know what I mean? So.
Oh, that is true, yeah. Well, okay, but since when I've seen him, when he's come back from his injury, he's gave the ball away, he's made some absolute terrible mistakes. Well, okay, he may not have been garbage, but I do think he is now, certainly.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons he sort of stays around a lot because what what I got from him in terms of the documentaries I've seen and the All or Nothing, but the Man City one was, it's very much about him as a personality in the dressing room.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes, obviously, I think he's very liked by his teammates, isn't he? And obviously, he does a lot of social media, doesn't he? He's quite well known for that. Yeah, I mean, I think Zinchenko, whenever he plays at left back, he seems to be quite decent for me. I mean, Zinchenko, City played in the Champions League, and they absolutely battered. I can't remember the team, but it was 5-0. And a lot of what I read, Ruben Dias and Laporte as centre backs, and then Zinchenko as left back. People were saying, Dias and Laporte, and then Zinchenko could be a good thing for City. It could solve a lot of their problems.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the point with City, I feel like their weak point is defence.
Yes, absolutely. They've got no problems in attack.
Laporte to me is the one of the best defenders in the league, but I always feel like Garcia definitely is one of the most promising players in the league, but he's not there yet either.
No.
Ake is great, but it's going to take him a lot of time to adapt to a top four style of play, I think.
Yes.
Ruben Dias is very much an unknown quantity at the minute.
Yeah.
So, in which case, it might be a case of giving City time, but considering they didn't win the league last season, I think they're sort of running on.
There's no time to give them time.
Yeah.
So Antonio scored for West Ham, and then Phil Foden, who replaced Sergio Aguero.
Oh, it was a great goal, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, it was a good goal. Yeah, Foden is a player I really, really like. Foden. It's really annoying that obviously he had to get sent home because for England I was really looking forward to see how we would do Foden. But hopefully it's not. If he keeps on good form and if he stays out of trouble. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in an England shirt. I certainly hope that hasn't damaged it long term, what he did.
No, I think obviously, true quality shines through, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
And true quality shines through at the end of the day, and he is a real talent.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be all right, and he will be involved with England. Same with Greenwood as well.
Yeah. I mean, what was interesting for me in this game, Foden, it sounded like it. Well, from what I can gather, he came on as a winger. I mean, I didn't even know he could play as a winger.
Yeah, I think didn't he play as a winger in the League Cup final?
I'm pretty sure whenever he's played, it's pretty much always been in the number 10 attacking midfield. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think he did play as right mid in the Carling Cup final.
Yeah.
Not the Carling Cup, the what is it called? The
Carabao Cup, but
that's it.
To be honest, I still call it the Carling Cup.
Yeah, it's so confusing, isn't it? Because I feel I'm one of those that kind of calls it all different things. I'm the same with the EFL trophy because it's called what's it called, the Papa John's Trophy now.
Oh yeah, Papa John's, Papa John's Pizza. Yeah.
Definitely, but no, yeah, like we said, great player, great talent. And I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I wonder how long he'll be on. I wonder how long he'll be at City for.
Oh, what? They're at City playing for them, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Obviously, he's very nearby City, isn't he? He's from something. Is it Stockdale or something? It's or have I completely just made a place up?
Is he is it Stockport?
Oh yes, he probably is that actually. Yeah, I'm having a good one tonight, and yeah, my Papa John's thing that was funny. No, I think Foden. Joe, I can't imagine him leaving City, to be honest. I just can't, because, you know, he's nearby. He's not too far from Manchester. You know, and he's definitely a local lad through and through. You know, from what I've seen in like interviews and stuff with him, and from what I've gathered. So no, I think, you know, I was saying to my dad yesterday when watching the United game, you know, I hope that Rashford, you know, I think he will be a one club man, you know, like, you know, Ryan Giggs and Gary Neville, who, you know, always, that was the only club he played for. And I think Foden will be one of those, actually. I think he will be City for his whole career, I think. And also it helps that he's come through the academy. And yeah, I just think that I can't see him leaving. I really can't.
I don't know. I think Rashford's a phenomenal player. I think if United don't start winning stuff, I think he'll probably go. But I think he could go to one of the top clubs.
He's a United fan though, and he's a Mancunian through and through. I'm not.
Yeah, but so was David. You know, David Beckham was a Man United fan.
Yes, but he fell out with Ferguson.
Did he though?
Well, yes, because Ferguson was worried about his marriage to Victoria Beckham, and, you know, that he did not like, you know. He was worried that, you know, because it could have been easy for Beckham to say, well, I'll just not bother now because my wife is really famous, going to be earning lots of money from, like, fashion and pop records. That's what he was really afraid of, and I think that's what got that whole row, you know, when he got the boot thrown at him and that famous incident in the dressing room. So
well,
no,
I mean the hairdryer incident when he threw the boot at him or whatever.
oh, sorry, yeah, that's what I mean. But Beckham never wanted to leave United, because I remember hearing him. I think he was on Desert Island Discs, and he said he never wanted to leave United. It really, you know, he was hurt emotionally. It was by that, because it was his dream to play for it. So no, and I think Rashford and Foden. I think there'll be one club players, which I think is a rare thing these days. You know, and yeah, that's what I think personally. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
It'd be really interesting to if Sam does get you know, his view on that. You know.
I'm sure he'll turn up at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure he will as well. Right, and yeah, let's go through the stats, and you know, yeah, I wonder who West Ham are playing. Obviously, we'll get through that when we, you know, do our predictions and preview the next round of games. But I think we've said pretty much all about we need to of that game. So let's just do the stats and then we'll move on. Right, match stats. There they are. So West Ham had 30%, while Manchester City had 70% of possession. So City dominating on possession there. West Ham had 6 shots, while Manchester City had 14. So again, dominating on shots. West Ham had 2 shots on target, while Manchester City had 7. I can sense a pattern here. West Ham with 2 corners, and Manchester City had 10. West Ham had 14 fouls, and Manchester City had 6. So pretty much apart from the fouls, City, well, even though
It's really interesting. Sorry, it's really interesting because
go on.
It's really interesting because like you look at the shots and possession and stuff. You know, there's a lot to say about. Oh yeah, we dominated possession, but you've got to be able to make that count.
Oh yes, of course. You've got to keep the ball. You know, if you do, and if you don't do anything useful with the ball, you could have all the possession in the world. But if you don't do anything useful with it, what's the point?
100%. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting debate again because we talk about City and I believe they do play some of the best possession football, but possession is, possession and shots and all that, 9/10 of the game.
Yeah.
It's clinicality and what you do with it.
Oh, absolutely. You've got to be clinical. Any chance you get, particularly if you're a striker. You've got to be clinical and take your chances. Otherwise, you could be made to pay.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah, like I would agree with you. Actually, it's really intriguing, particularly the result. Seems like it's not really represented. The stats as sometimes football, isn't. Yeah.
The thing is that stats, like we said, stats aren't the 100% of the game.
Oh no, I know.
But yeah, I think one of the things for City has always been being able to turn that good possession play and everything into something more,
Yeah.
More clinical, really.
Yes, absolutely. And João Cancelo assisted Foden's goal, and Kufal, I think it's Kufal, assisted Antonio's goal as well. So, excuse me. Apologies. Sorry. I did not expect that. Well, for a really cracking one tonight.
So to go on to the next game.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Fulham 1 and Crystal Palace 2. Pretty much once again for Palace, the Wilfried Zaha show. Zaha playing in Jairo Ridavalde for his first goal in 44 appearances. I think it's 44.
Oh, that's quite impressive.
Obviously scoring himself.
Yeah, just to finish it all off.
Yeah, and then obviously a fantastic consolation goal from Fulham skipper Tom Kearney.
Yeah.
I enjoy Palace a lot.
Yes, Palace are a good team. I think Roy Hodgson has got to get a lot of credit because I think you touched on this, Joe, but obviously after Euro 2016, people were probably thinking, is Roy Hodgson past it as a manager after, the Iceland result? And I think Roy Hodgson said at the time, I don't think he was going to take another job, was he, after the England job?
No.
But, yeah, and, since he took over Palace, obviously took over from Frank de Boer when that was pretty much a disaster.
72 days was it?
I think so, but I really could not stand him. I couldn't. I thought he was a horrible man, to be honest.
Great player though.
What's that?
Said he was a great player back in the day.
Yeah, it's many Dutch managers, but I mean, Martin Jol, I mean, I don't think he did that great, did he, at Tottenham?
Martin Jol didn't really do very great. Anyway,
It's Jol. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because obviously the Dutch style of football is it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it? To the Premier League.
It's probably a lot more open and attacking.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. Sorry to overcut you again.
No, that's all right.
It's Palace have done, been part of some decent results.
Yes, absolutely.
And I feel like the job that Hodgson has done is actually really underrated.
Yes.
Keeping Zaha is massive.
Well, yeah, I think Palace were very lucky because if it wasn't for this virus and teams' funds, I think Zaha would be gone. I think.
I don't really agree with that though.
What do you not?
He should have gone. He could have gone in the window, right?
Yeah, but I don't think Palace wanted. Oh, I think we have Sam Taylor on the line now.
Good evening, lads.
Well, I never.
Sorry, I'm late.
Evening, Sam. Welcome to the show. Good to have you back.
I just had to attend to a phone call, but all done now. Right, so I'm
no problem, mate.
Yeah, right. So I'm here now. So sorry I'm late, TubeMix, but the main man is here.
Sorry I'm late too, Jordan. No worries, mate. No worries at all.
No, it's Will's channel, not yours.
No, play nice, you two.
In the words of High School Musical, Samuel, we are all in this together.
Hey, that's like something I would do that joke like that. But yeah, that's great.
Just before we go back to our original point, just for the benefit of getting Sam's opinion.
Oh yeah.
I just want you to quickly go over the games we've talked about.
You were talking about Wilfried Zaha.
Yeah, but we've only talked about the two games, which are Leeds and Villa and Man City and West Ham. What are your opinions on those games?
City are lacking a cutting edge that they had when they won the titles. They play great football, but I mean it's not a cutting edge like missing like Brighton's is, for instance, but they just don't seem quite as ruthless. Like Sterling had a few chances and Aguero recently in the last game.
No, I feel like that's
and
true.
They still couldn't go on.
No, I was gonna say I agree with what you're saying. Carry
on. But West Ham were very clinical, probably hung on at times, but I have to give credit to West Ham. They've been in quite good form recently. They
Absolutely.
came 3-0 down against Tottenham, showing a bit of backbone, and they never, well, people are saying, well, yeah, but look how long they spent without the ball. Well, they're never gonna be as fluent as City playing City. If they played City at City's game, City would smash them about 15-0 because they couldn't play City's game. So they're playing their own style.
I feel like people don't understand that the lower teams come to the bigger teams, and they don't come to play like Barcelona. They come to nick a goal and win it.
Yes.
If there is that kind of anomaly of
Yeah, because they can't play like Barcelona.
no, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
They
Yeah,
can't play. They could play like Barcelona. They could play like Barcelona if they were playing, I don't know, Accrington Stanley. They might be able to play like Barcelona and look really good because obviously they go from
have
class.
you ever been to
But
Accrington
I'm
Stanley?
not
It's
saying
good
no,
goal.
no
Right.
disrespect, but you know what I mean. If they were playing
Yeah.
like League Two opposition every week, then they could play with like Barcelona and look as good as Barcelona because they were playing not as good a teams. But anyway, that's beside the point. So good point for West Ham City lacking the cutting edge. Maybe, obviously, to be fair, they have had Aguero out. I know he
Yes.
came back, but he's injured again.
Yes.
Um, Jesus,
He's out. Yep.
Jesus has been out. So as good as Sterling is not a striker. Like,
No.
he's not an out and out striker, even though he gets like 25 goals. He's not. You'll find it funny for me to say this, but Sterling's not a natural goal scorer. Like, his goal scoring has improved so much. Like his ability to finish, but it's not natural for him. He's worked on it, but
Mm.
it's not like if he had to score a penalty in the 90th minute, I won't want him taking it. Trust me, to win the game. But he scores a lot more because he gets himself in the right position,
Yes.
which allows him to score lots of goals because City create. But the other game, Leeds and Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa have obviously had a great start to the season. Yeah, they got beat 3-0 by Leeds, but Leeds are playing great. They're playing some great football. They remind me a bit of Wolves when Wolves first came up, and Sheffield United. Like, people just haven't worked them out yet. People will work them out in time. Like, and then we'll have to see if their quality comes through. There will be tests, but I've been very impressed. And Patrick Bamford, well, I wasn't sure. I've always liked Patrick Bamford, but I wasn't quite sure he was Premiership quality. Yeah, certainly Championship, but whether he could play Premiership week in week out and score lots of goals, I wasn't so sure. But so far, I mean, he scored a hat trick. I mean, if he carries on like that, I'd have a look at him for England. Why not? But no, it's good for him because I've always liked Patrick Bamford, and I think what people forget, like, he's found a home now at Leeds.
Yes.
Where when he was at Chelsea, he was loaned out to Middlesbrough and Palace and other teams. I think Leeds were one of them, weren't they, before they went and brought him. So he's found a permanent home now. And he's obviously, like a lot of the Leeds players, he was a very average player who the manager believes in, and the manager's giving the whole team confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, and look what's happening. So it's excellent. They play really good football. Leeds will always concede a lot of goals, I think,
Yes.
because of the way they play, even though they kept a clean sheet last time out. But I tell you what, I'm going to get relegated this season, happily in the table. Probably, I'm not sure they've quite got enough challenging European spots, but anywhere between 8th and 14th, I think they'll finish.
I would agree with that.
Somewhere
I
in
don't
that
think they're going to go down.
Of the table.
It's very interesting because you've pretty much said everything that I said about Leeds.
Great minds think alike.
Well, we've said this before.
Well, we are like,
Yeah.
We're great footballing minds.
I don't think you can I don't think you can underestimate just quickly on Leeds and Chris Wilder at Sheffield United. And then they've had a tough start, but with results, but the belief and when a manager has belief in you, what it can do when you're an average player. When I say average, they're good players, but I mean average at the top level. But if you have a manager that believes in you, elevate your game and the team's game, even with the same hole, the same level, we shouldn't underestimate that. Because Bielsa's kept a lot of that same squad together, a bit like Nuno has at Wolves. I know they've added players, but a large core of that group have been with him for years, they've instilled belief, these managers, into the players. Sterling is now scoring goals because Pep Guardiola has worked with him and said, right, you're never going to be a natural goal scorer. If he was in a Southampton like Danny Ings, he wouldn't score 25 goals for Southampton because it's not natural goal scoring, but he's in the right position.
Well, he probably would after his.
So then, more often than not, you don't miss you, but more often than
after his coaching by Pep, I would say he does tend to get into those positions.
No, well, the point. The point I'm saying is like Danny Ings is a natural goal scorer, yeah? but Sterling relies on getting into those positions. Sterling was always not natural. It's just improved his positioning, which allows him to score the goals. I don't know if you agree with that, but
and he definitely misses less chances now
to allow him to score. Oh, he does now because he's in the right position, but he will always miss a couple, which is fine. But he always will because that he shouldn't miss, like the miss against Burnley.
Oh God, yeah.
I used to laugh at him, Sterling, a lot, particularly for his misses.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He's not natural. It's like me. I'm trying to work on my finishing. I'll never be a natural goal scorer, but who can act instinctively in front of goal. But I'm watching loads of clips of Sterling to use for myself so that I know how to get into the right positions. Because if I get into the right positions, I'll start scoring goals, even though it's not natural. So go on, sorry.
The thing is that like you said, in a Southampton, a West Ham, a Sheffield United, they're not going to have the players that can open up the space, and it's always about opening up the space and seeing that. It's about having the footballing brain.
Of course it is.
It's about having the footballing brain and the footballing ability to mix and match both. So to say, if I open that space.
Of course,
if I open that space up for you, you can beat the man, you can score the goal, and that's what you're saying about Sterling, is that like because Pep has hammered him, he is instinctive in front of goal because he's worked on it, but he doesn't have natural instinct.
Yeah, do you agree with that? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, because that's what I said to Will yesterday about Sterling. Wasn't it, Will? Do you remember?
Yes.
Which is weird, but great minds and all
that. I think that City. I do think City are missing David Silva. Just one more thing I would say.
Yes,
I do. I mean, I know De Bruyne's been injured, but I do think that they're not quite as fluent, and I think David Silva you'd notice him more when he wasn't there, and I think that I don't know what Will thinks, but
Oh, well,
I
he
do
was a
think they do
fantastic player.
miss him a little bit.
They called him the magician, didn't they?
Merlin.
He's doing really well in Spain as well.
Oh, right.
Where did he go in the end? Dubai or Spain?
Sociedad in Spain.
Or did he go to Real Sociedad, did he?
Yeah, because that's why Lazio signed.
Because there were rings.
That's why Lazio signed Andreas Pereira, because they didn't want to sign. They couldn't. David Luiz didn't want to go there.
Silva, not David
Not
Luiz.
David Luiz, David Silva. Sorry.
Right, okay, so
I thought he was going to Dubai, but
No, Spain.
Anyway.
yeah, that was the rumour, but no, he didn't end up going there at the end. He went back to Spain. Yeah.
Any comments tonight, TubeMix?
Let me just look. No, I don't think so. But I tell you who we did get on the video last night. Gricey21.
Oh, right, yeah. So I believe, yep. Keep them coming in. And it's good that you could actually have a name that you could pronounce, Will.
Yeah,
Yes.
takes time. At least he won't be throwing himself off a bridge.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, sorry. What did you say? Sorry, George.
I said at least he won't be throwing himself off a bridge. So to go back to the game that we were on about, because now Sam has very neatly caught us up. We were on about Palace and Fulham.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and avoid having the Zaha conversation that we were having, Will, because I feel like it's one of those, like, Palace are reliant on Zaha kind of conversations, and I kind of disagree with it in a way.
I think they've improved a lot. Palace have improved a lot, which shows in
Eze
Zaha's
and
scoring
players like that.
output. He's getting chances created. He's getting chances created for him a bit more now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A phenomenal player, no doubt, but he's only going to get better.
Oh yeah, he's the star of the bunch. He's the star of the bunch, but he's having chances. He's not having to do everything on his own.
No.
Because they've added a bit of attacking prowess. Go on, George, sorry.
No, like I said, I think they definitely have. You look at, like, it's not just... I think, like, Andros Townsend is really underappreciated in that side, and, also the defence, like Gary Cahill and Scott Dan as well, two players that...
Yeah, they give a great... Luka Milivojevic, big fan of his.
Phenomenal player, world class.
Yeah. Very underrated.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also think Cahill is also a bit underrated as well.
Yeah.
Not really. He's played for England and things. I don't know about
I think
underrated.
He's underrated now because I feel like if you actually look at his numbers at Palace, he's done like really, really well. Whereas I feel like not many people have that conversation about him, but obviously he's got pedigree. What was he? 40 caps for England, 40 something, 60 caps for England.
I agree with you there. For Palace, you can tell when Palace are without him. He's rock solid for them, and he's a leader as well. and his experience. Him and Scott Dan. I always think when Scott Dan doesn't play, they miss him as well.
He's quite underrated, Scott Dan.
He has been, yeah. I think he's slightly over the hill of his best years, but he's certainly a good defender.
I remember him at Blackburn.
Yeah, was that when they were in the
I
Premiership?
think some of it was when they were in the Prem, yeah, but...
Oh, blimey, I was out of football then.
Yeah, Will's knowledge only goes back about 6
When
months.
they had Pedersen.
Oh yeah, he's a good
The
player.
Norwegian left mid. And
Didn't they have Rocky? Did Rocky Santa Cruz play for Blackburn at one
yeah,
point?
Didn't he go from Blackburn to Man City, and then they gave him back to Blackburn?
Yeah, and Junior Hoylett played for Blackburn. Didn't he?
Yeah. Great player.
Yeah, he's still a good player. I like Hoylett. Good player.
But yeah, no, I think Palace's back line are highly underrated. I really like.
Joel Ward's solid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I've always quite liked Joel Ward, but he's never been spectacular. He's just solid. What are you doing, Will?
What?
Oh, it's not Will. It's Sam.
Oh, no, it's not me.
I was like, what is that?
It's Sam said nothing.
No, I'm just taking this place off. Carry on.
It made me jump. But yeah, no, I like the young lad at left back, Mitchell.
Tyrick. Is it Tyrick Mitchell?
Yeah, he's a bit raw though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, obviously Michy Batshuayi, who they bought back Palace, he assisted for Zaha's 63rd minute strike.
Oh yeah, he played it across the goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, another good player.
Yeah, and it's frustrating, isn't it, for you as a Chelsea fan, but can't do it at Chelsea.
I don't think it's. I disagree there because I don't think that he can't do it at Chelsea. I think it's that he oh god, he's not going to get the chances ahead of Abraham and Havertz and
Werner,
so in which case it's the best thing for him, but in the same breath I do, a bit like the Bamford situation, I do kind of wish he had a permanent home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's a good player. I think you see like the impact that he had in Dortmund, and he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah, but in terms of Palace, yeah, I think that, and their goalkeeper is really underrated as well. Guaita's fantastic.
Yeah, he's done a good job since Wayne Hennessy, I think, has been out.
Yeah, it's really interesting because now with Palace they've got three great goalkeepers in well, I really like Hennessy, and I've liked Hennessy since he was at Wolves. And now they've got Jack Butland as well.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's an interesting little dilemma for Roy Hodgson. I don't think Butland will start, but I think that probably pushes Hennessy down to third choice, which is a shame because I think again he's another good goalkeeper and been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to give some stats for that?
Oh
game?
gosh, yeah, because I think we spoke about all. Well, I don't know. It depends whether Sam has anything more to say on that game.
He's disappeared for the moment, hasn't he?
What's that? Oh, he's gone. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I imagine it's because I said he was making noise.
Okay. Well, hopefully Sam will be back in a moment. Having some technical difficulties there. Ruben Loftus-Cheek starting for Fulham. It's not looking good for Fulham, is it? Now, we're getting into October now, and I mean, well, is that too early to start looking at the table, or?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Hang on a second.
Bless you.
No, you are. Thank you. I don't know. I think we're getting to the point where I think if we picked up 1 point or 2 points, something like that.
That's no good.
And I think they actually played decently against Sheffield United. So to go to a Palace, another team sort of that would be looking towards that mid-table area, that they're the ones that you need the points against. And
yeah,
I do like. Oh God, what's his name?
Loftus-Cheek.
No,
Scott
Carney.
Wait, I think Sam's back now.
Yeah, I like Scott Parker
Scott.
as well.
Who are you on about? Which
I'm meaning the
player?
Fulham captain, Tom Kearney. I do like him. I think he's
Tom Kearney.
Yeah, no, he's a phenomenal player, and I'm glad that he's back in the Premier League and everything. But I think Adara Bayo started, didn't he, for Fulham, and Tim Ream played. I don't know how he's still playing. He's awful.
He's terrible.
Yeah. You remember? I thought he was quite solid.
He's one of the worst. He's one of the worst defenders I've ever seen in the Premier League with the starters, mate. He's been awful. It was alright in the Championship, but not every player steps up to it.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because obviously Scott Parker must see something that we're not.
Yeah. I mean, he deserves to be in the squad for what he did last year, but he looks completely out of his depth.
Yeah, I think like tactically, you look at Fulham and Scott Parker as a manager, and I feel like he makes really smart decisions that are the right decisions for the team. But there's just
I think he's a clever guy as well.
Yeah.
He's dead straight talking. I like that.
But the problem is with these young English managers, it's very much, you get one bad, you start to have 1 or 2 bad jobs and you're out. Look at like Paul Ince and I think it'll take Sol Campbell quite a while to get back into it. And there are loads of examples, aren't there, of it. And I really hope that Scott Parker isn't one of those. Now, one person that I do just want to highlight for Fulham that I think is a great signing is Ademola Lookman. Obviously, he scored against Sheffield United, and he had quite a few chances, hit the post for Fulham against Palace, obviously, and then Mitrovic blazed the rebound from like 2 yards out. But I think he's a really shrewd bit of business. Didn't not worked out for him so far at Leipzig. Was okay at Everton, but obviously wasn't going to start every game. I don't know what you guys think about him.
I've been surprised. I didn't think he was that good at Everton. I thought he had bits of potential, but I've been seeing him come back. He looks refreshed.
Yeah. He looks
go.
sharp, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he went from Charlton. Oh, sorry, boys.
No, I just said Will. I just said as in your point, but then you started. Carry on.
I mean, he went from Charlton to Everton. Then he went Yeah, Charlton to Everton, then he went to Leipzig, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, Charlton, Everton, yeah, Leipzig, yeah.
And then came back to Everton again. Then came back
Yeah.
to Leipzig again. Now at Fulham, so he's definitely been around from club to club. Yeah, it is interesting because, when he played for Everton, for me, I didn't really see anything that particularly, made me thought he was a really good player.
Chelsea fans thought that. Chelsea fans thought that though about De Bruyne when he was at Chelsea. I know he didn't get much of a game, but who would have thought he would have been the player he is now?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely didn't get. The thing is, like, with De Bruyne, he came in from Genk, then he went out to Wolfsburg. No, he went out to Bremen on loan, and absolutely, tore up the Bundesliga. Then he came back, and I feel like, Chelsea fans didn't see a lot of him, and that's probably why they weren't too impressed with him. I don't know why Mourinho didn't fancy him. And then obviously he went out to, I think he was sold to Wolfsburg, wasn't he? So he was sold to Wolfsburg.
Yes, he was there for about 2 years.
Yeah, he was sold to Wolfsburg on loan, broke the Bundesliga assist record for a single season, absolutely, ran away with it, and come back to City, and he is what he is. And I think that sometimes my problem with Lookman was you could tell he had talent, right? You could tell he had talent, but there are so many players in the Premier League that can do all the jinking little, step overs and Ronaldo chops and faking and all this. But other than that, what have they got? In that situation, if you're going to be a skillful player, you're either a Ronaldo or you're a David Dunn. If you understand if you catch my reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've got to have a product with the skill.
Yeah, for Will, because Will probably won't know that. Obviously, Ronaldo perfected the Rabona. David Dunn tried it one time and kicked his own shin and fell over.
Oh right! Oh wow!
So yeah, that's the thing. I feel like Lookman had all that raw potential, but like you said, none of the end product.
Well, if you look at Cristiano Ronaldo when he first came to Man United, he said the same about him.
Yeah, he was all
it's
skill and no substance, wasn't he?
But you look at somebody like Ronaldo who worked on. You look at somebody like Nani who had all the skill, but was still a great player, but should have been even better than he was.
Yeah. I feel like with Nani, I feel like it was kind of like he sort of believed his own hype a little bit, because you listen to Ronaldo, and Ronaldo tells the story that, like, he always thought of Nani as better than him when he was at United, and that's Ronaldo saying that. Somebody who is like the.
If you ask Alex Ferguson about who was the most talented, he said Nani was.
Yeah, I remember.
Nani. It's funny.
Right, that will.
That's how you sell it. That's how you say his name.
I mean, he had a great career. Don't get me wrong, he don't play for United. I'm not saying he was a waste. I'm just saying he up there.
Yeah.
Just never quite did it.
I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him play as well. I think, like, when I go back to America, if he's still playing for Orlando, which he is still at the minute, I'd love to get tickets to the Citrus Bowl and go and watch him play in the MI.
Thank you.
I know he's obviously lost a bit of pace and a little bit of But you never lose the skill, do you?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
I don't think I've heard of him. Nani or Nonny or...
You never heard of Nani?
No.
Nanny?
Nanny!
Oh, Nanny. Oh, yes. Sorry, just because I think your pronunciation, it threw me off, I think.
It's supposed to be Nani, isn't it?
Oh, well, I've always said Nanny.
Who is Nani? Oh well, you're something else. Do you want to give us some stats for that?
Oh, yeah.
Game?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yes. Right, so the stats, let me just bring them up. Right.
Nani.
Who is Nani?
Okay, so
I've seen him actually in a petrol station when I lived in Wimslow.
oh wow.
Well, that's what you get for living in a posh area.
And I've seen one last on the way to train
And you seen who?
in a petrol station again.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? One matter.
Wow. I tell you what, he's rubbed with the stars, and Andre Villas-Boas. I mean, yeah.
Jermaine Defoe.
Yep.
Oh.
Right, where are we anyway?
John Barnes.
John Barnes. Oh wow.
John Barnes. I met him in Abbotsford, a charity thing.
Wow.
I just said, "You alright, Jock?" And he went, "You alright, laddie?" Good.
Did you just actually say that to him, like just as if it was like the most normal thing,
Hey, I'm Johnny boy. How's it going?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I tell you what, Sam, you could write a book with your stories, me and the stars.
You should have asked him to sing "World in Motion."
Oh yeah, terrible rapper, terrible pundit, terrible presenter, but great footballer.
I would have, but unfortunately, I think he was bankrupt. So.
He'd have probably said, "Give me 100 quid and I'll do it."
Right, where are we now? So we've done Villa v Leeds. I accidentally closed it. Oh no, actually I'm not closed it. No, it was. Oh no, I think actually I've actually. Hang on. Let me just get it up. Yeah, sorry. Not really the best.
When is it ever the best with you, Sunshine?
Oh right.
While we're waiting for Will to just get his head out of his arse, my only claim to fame with footballers is I've met Daniel Sturridge twice. I met him once when he was a junior at City, and I don't remember this because I was quite young, but apparently we played football on the pitch at Crew Alex.
Wow.
Amazing. And then I met him again when he was probably the best striker in England. And I got a picture with him outside with his white BMW.
Oh wow.
And which was really cool. And
You've kept that quiet.
I haven't. I've told everybody that story.
Oh, okay.
You got a shirt as well, didn't you?
I got signed pictures. If I'd have told him I was a Liverpool fan, he was going to give me a signed Liverpool top. Which, can you imagine how much money I would have made if I'd just said I supported Liverpool when I didn't? But,
Anyway, I've got the stats. Apologies, lads. I didn't mean to close it, but just accidentally.
just quickly, Will, have I ever told you the story about the time when my dad spent an entire train journey talking to Sir Alex Ferguson and he had no idea who he was?
No, I don't think so.
So my dad always used to tell stories about people that he saw or he he'd had interactions with on the train because he used to take like business class. So there's
Oh, okay, yeah.
people from like it'd go from people from like Coronation Street and Emmerdale to like David Hay.
Wow.
One day he said, "Oh, I was sat on the train and some Scottish bloke came and sat down with me and we were talking about whatever and he turns around and he says, after the talking for a while, he says, "You've got no idea who I am, have you?" And my dad goes, "No," and he says, "Oh, I'm Sir Alex Ferguson." And he's like, "Oh, right." So anyway, he comes home and he says to me, "Do you know Sir Alex Ferguson?" And he said, "Yeah, he's the best manager in the history of one of the best managers in the history of football."
I take it he must not be a football fan, your dad?
No, we talked about this before. My family dislike football, and I'm like football insane. But imagine meeting Sir Alex Ferguson and having absolutely no idea who he is.
That is really funny. I can just imagine the scene.
Like my dad's done stuff like that before. When we were in America, he met this dead famous girl who spoke to him and asked him if he wanted a picture with her or an autograph or anything like that. And he come back and he said, "Oh, I just met this girl, her name's blah blah blah," and I goes, "Oh my god, I am obsessed with that show." And
Who was it?
She's called Victoria Justice. She was from a
Oh gosh, yes, from Victorious, the Nickelodeon show.
So yeah, I was pretty upset for quite a while about that. Back when I was like 13, I was obsessed with Victoria. So.
Wow, I can just imagine that scene as well. They need to make a drama of this, I think.
Well, I think that my best claim to fame is probably meeting Simon Cowell, but
Oh wow, was he nice?
He was lovely, but that's nothing to do with football.
Yes, sorry, yeah. Anyway, I've got the stats here. So, 64% possession for Fulham, 36 for Palace, 16 for Fulham, shots this is, 14 for Palace, 3 shots on target for Fulham, and 10 shots on target for Crystal Palace. Right. 4 corners for Fulham, 4 corners for Palace, so all square there. And 11 fouls for Fulham, and all square on fouls again for Palace. And that concludes your stats for that game.
I don't know why you focus quite a lot on fouls, because it's not really a good stat.
Well, I just love stats, I do.
I wonder what happened to Sam, by the way. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, internet problem.
Oh, it's alright. You missed the Alex Ferguson story.
Oh.
No, I heard that one about Alex Ferguson on the train and that woman from Nickelodeon or whatever she was.
Yeah, I love that story. That sums my dad up perfectly.
Wow.
That's hilarious. The fact he just sat there chatting to her and then
I think he said they were talking for like half an hour and he had no idea who he was.
Well, yeah, especially the Ferguson story. Like, just like you could just imagine, like, sort of giving him, like, seeing him get a sandwich sitting in his seat. Yeah. Right. Okay. Time to move on then.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So, it finished 0-0.
Yeah, I can hear you if you can hear me.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sam. So, We covered this in
Yeah, sorry.
extra
It
time.
just said no internet connection, that's all.
Oh,
Right, go on.
are you eating, by the way, Sam?
God,
I'm eating
stop
my
picking
dinner.
on Sam.
Carry on.
Oh, okay. So, it finished Manchester United 0, Chelsea 0. It was a really drab game. And this is what was most funny. Now, if you did see the show, you will know that it got quite heated between George, Sam, and me about should that be a penalty. And after the show, I think had finished, Sam's dad.
Hang on, Will. Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Sam, have you changed your mind about the penalty or not?
No.
Really?
He's still not.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not. Okay. Well, I think once we talked about it a bit, I did mellow about my feelings towards it. There's no bad blood between myself and Sam. We kissed and made up afterwards. We're two very passionate people.
I'm just sorry about the language because I realised there could be children watching our show.
Oh, well, get over it. They'll hear it on the street anyway. Might as well get them used to it.
Bloody hell, Will.
Sorry.
I really like the story that you told us from the day after when you said that when you woke up in the morning, your dad said, "How the hell is that not a penalty?" I think that's brilliant. It was a penalty, even if you say it isn't. It was.
It was a penalty. There was definitely contact in the box. It was like strangling Aspilicueta.
Yeah, not just they had him in a headlock round the neck. You know, you can't be doing that in a football.
That's like something from rugby or WWE.
Not to say we're not in the wrestling ring, but yeah, no, we're going to try not to get into that. I think a great defensive display from both teams, a great goalkeeping display from Edouard Mendy, who I must say, because I also saw the highlights of the Krasnodar game, made some great saves in that game too, and he looks a really, really good signing. You know, not to jump the gun because obviously it's a lot of pressure for a new signing.
Yes.
Especially with all the.
How old is he?
He's 27.
All right, so not
Good age for a goal.
not
Yeah.
young, not old, but in the middle.
Probably not
Oh,
even.
excuse
for,
me.
For a goalie, he's probably not even in his prime either. They say, don't they, for goalkeepers, the prime years is like 31 to 34, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got the experience. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. And also, just on something that I mentioned yesterday, to clarify something I said yesterday, there were 11,000 fans in Krasnodar.
11,000.
Yeah. And
Wow.
one of them was Roman Abramovich.
Oh well, that doesn't surprise me because obviously he's Russian, isn't he?
Yeah, but obviously he's struggling, isn't he, with his UK visa at the minute, which is why he hasn't been at the Chelsea game.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Do you know? Because that seems like ages ago since.
Why? Well,
I don't know. All I saw was that he was having visa issues.
It makes it sound like a disease.
But yeah, no, good performance defensively for United, defensively for Chelsea. You know, that's 4 clean sheets in a week.
That's good. If you're Chelsea, I'd be very impressed with that.
And I think a lot of it, you know, not to put too much pressure on Mendy again. I think it's also to do with, you know, Chilwell is a good player. And
Very good left back, yeah.
although what I heard is obviously, you know, after,
Thiago Silva.
yeah, what I heard though obviously is that Chelsea's, you know, 3 of Chelsea's back 4 speak French. Obviously, Silva was at PSG. Zuma was at Saint Etienne before he was at Chelsea, and Azpilicueta was at Marseille. So that's how some of Chelsea's back four communicate, is what I heard. But I don't know about that, because that'd be a little bit harsh on poor Ben Chilwell, wouldn't it? I think he's a catalyst, and I think obviously Thiago Silva worked really well. I think Thiago Silva and Zuma worked great together, and Azpilicueta's a good player as well. And Reece James, that back three that Chelsea are starting to play with now is something I really like.
Yeah.
And for United, it's a good result yesterday midweek, and
very good. Yeah.
I feel like
I was so surprised.
Yeah, we were going for one. We were going for a one. Oh, sorry, Sam.
No, I was just gonna say I would have even put Leipzig as slight favourites.
Which we did. We went for 1-0 Leipzig, our prediction.
Yeah, we both went for 1-0, and I was watching it on BBC Sport, the commentary, and I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. I was just stunned how far they collapsed, in the second half, Leipzig.
But I think obviously it's what they needed, because I think being the home team, and whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says, he basically said, I felt like what he said could have been misconstrued as blaming the fans for not being there, and saying that's the reason they didn't
That's
win.
an excuse. I wasn't too pleased with that.
At the end of the day, despite the fact they were great defensively and great in midfield, I feel like going forward has kind of been the problem, and I think again, if they hadn't have brought Rashford and Cavani and Rashford and Cavani on, mainly Rashford, they probably would have struggled again at Leipzig. So I think they really need to sort that area out as well. But yeah, so a 0-0 was a fair result. But I think United obviously would be the more upset of the two sets of fans.
Oh, sorry for the Chelsea result, yeah.
Yeah, well, we were at home.
Yes, I mean, it was I had to battle to watch the game because it was so drab.
You were too busy staring at your cat.
Yeah.
No, but I did stay through. I did stay through the whole half. I really battled. I did. The temptation
Sounds
was just to go upstairs, but no. I stayed down. I watched the match.
Well, when you support a team, why would you, just because the game's a bit rubbish, why would you stop watching it?
Well, because it's just, sometimes if a game is really boring.
That's what he is, Sam. He's a plastic fan. Is that what they call them?
Yeah. He only comes out when we're successful.
No. That is not true. I pretty much always stick with United's games, even if they do lose.
But a game against the top four opponent, you'd be wanting to watch that even if they played awful. Sure.
Well,
and we weren't losing, Will.
No.
It's not like we were losing 6-0.
No, I know, mate, but I just, I just, if a game's really, really boring, and it can sometimes send you to sleep, because if there's nothing really grabbing you off the edge of your seat, or nothing really going on.
Sorry, Harry Maguire, with all your grabbing.
Well, okay. Apart from that, to me, that was the biggest moment in the game.
Not the Edouard Mendy saves, or when Cavani nearly scored, or anything like that.
Oh gosh, yeah, I forgot about that actually.
Hey, you are as plastic as you come.
Oh,
He was
sorry.
too busy looking at his cat.
Excuse me.
He was too busy looking at his cat when Cavani came on.
Get back in your box, action man.
I'll tell you what, Will. I'll tell you a story.
Oh, okay.
So, The first time I went to see Man United was in the 2007-8 season
Oh, right.
against Blackburn.
Yep.
Against Blackburn at home. We won 2-0
Yes.
and Ronaldo scored 2 goals.
Ah, brilliant.
Two headers,
Yeah.
right? The next game I went was some years later.
Oh, right.
I just couldn't get down to the games against Man City when we lost 6-1.
Oh,
Right?
No way.
And that was my only second ever game.
Oh, dear.
And I was with my dad in the United end, who was a City fan and was whispering in my ear, "Get in," every time a goal went in. Right?
Yep.
We were in the Stretford end. By the end of the match, every 3/4 of the stadium was empty, with 5 minutes to go. Me and my dad were the only ones left on our row. And my dad kept saying, "Do you want to go? Do you want to go?" And I said, "No. A good fan sticks with his team till the end."
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So, if I did leave early and still get stuck in all that traffic because I stayed at 6-1, then that's the sign of a true fan. And yet you can't even watch a game when it's 0-0 just because it's boring.
Not only that, but I've been a Chelsea fan for 7 years now, right?
Yeah.
No, 8 years. Sorry, right? I went to watch my first Chelsea game away at the Etihad, right?
Yeah.
And that is the most intimidating thing you could ever do when you're the only Chelsea fan within a sea of City fans.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't even celebrate when Chelsea took the lead.
Oh, excuse me.
Because when Chelsea did take the lead, there was a Chelsea fan in the City end. He celebrated, got punched in the face, and then the security guard escorted him out. So, and anyway, after we did so well, we got beat 2-1, and it was a pretty hard game to watch because it started off really well, and then
Yes.
Fernandinho came on and he had Abraham in his pocket.
Yeah.
But I knew that the only way I was going to get to see a Chelsea game was to sit with the City fans, and I'd sit there while, you know, they were screaming Blue Moon down my ear and all this, and it was horrible, but it's what you've got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
I've had coins thrown at me. Well,
Oh.
I went to see Man United beat Galatasaray in the Champions League.
Are you a madman?
And we were at home. Where the disabled spot was right beneath the away fans. And they started
Oh my
flicking
God.
coins at us. They had signs at Old Trafford saying "Welcome to Hell."
Oh yeah. I'll tell you a good story, right? Very quickly before we move on, because we're digressing massively. But just before we move on, I was watching a podcast. I talked to Will about it the other day, and Kevin Campbell was on, and he was talking about when he went to Trabs on Sport, and they were on about he was on about his first training session. So he goes on his first training session, and he sees this old man, and this old man's struggling. He's got the hold of this rope, and he's struggling, and you know he figures out that he's got a goat, so he brings this goat onto the pitch in front of Kevin Campbell, and he slits the goat's throat, lets the blood drain out of it. And
Lovely.
They say that he's got a I don't remember what it was. I think he had to put the blood on his head in a cross or something like that. Right?
Ooh.
So he puts his blood on his head in a cross as like an initiation, and then the next minute, you know, fans are cheering because in Turkey Football is such an occasion that they have fans at training, like thousands of fans and stuff.
Wow.
Um, everybody's cheering, the fans are loving it. All the lights come on in the stadium. Turkey is a scary place. They are football obsessed. So fair play to you for going to, because I know it was at home, but still, to say welcome to hell when you're away, you know what I mean?
Oh gosh, I think that's a bit too far.
No, I think that's what it says at the front of Galatasaray Stadium. It says welcome to hell.
That's not great, particularly.
I love it. I think it's great.
Have you been to watch any games, Will?
Yes, I went to see the women's football at Old Trafford, Olympic football, and United under Van Gaal, I think it was. Yeah. I remember getting a pie from the Red Cafe and a Twix.
Who was it against? Was it against Everton?
Guarantee he doesn't remember.
Don't tell me you don't remember how you played.
I can't remember.
What a surprise.
Sorry. But I do remember it was such a great atmosphere, being at Old Trafford.
It was a great atmosphere, but you can't remember a single thing that happened in the actual game.
What were the away fans like? Oh, I don't remember.
Well, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I do apologise.
Where were you sat? Whereabouts in the ground were you sat?
Well, I guess in the sort of disabled space.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, which stand were you in?
Oh, well, I can't remember, mate. It's quite a long time ago since I've been.
Please, God.
Were you behind the goal? Or were you central? Were you like near the halfway line? Or
well, we actually did get quite a good view of the pitch, actually, if that helps.
Not really.
Yeah, but we sat behind the goal because a lot of the disabled people go behind the goal.
I really can't remember, mate. It's quite a long time ago.
Okay, sorry, I was just interested. That was all.
No, it's all right. But I did like going to Old Trafford. It was just a different experience. Watching it on TV, but actually being there in the stadium.
What you can remember of it anyway.
Well, it was still a good experience. It was.
Do you know? So I'll tell you something. Well, I know it's only like over the past year, but I can remember every single Crew Alex game I've been to.
Yeah, but you've been to loads of games. I've only been to 2.
Yeah, so you should remember more because
you should be able to savour those games even more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Yesterday I was telling you the story about Nigel Clough in the EFL Trophy. Well, nobody cares about the EFL Trophy, but I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, when they got to the semi-final, you mean Burton Albion?
No, the EFL Trophy, the which is like the Johnston's Paint or the Papa John's Trophy, as it's called now.
Oh yeah, remember I had that blip that I couldn't say Papa John's, could I?
We were on about different managerial styles, right? And I told the story about there was an EFL Trophy game, and I mentioned it because Gricey21, who we talked about earlier, was in the comments, and I remembered that he was sat next to me when we watched that game, and in that game. David Artell, who's the Crew manager, said nothing. In fact, I think he was there. He wasn't involved at all until the second half, which he usually does anyway. But Nigel Clough, obviously son of Brian Clough, Liverpool, played for Liverpool, played for Burton, played for Forest.
His father's a legend.
Nigel Clough was screaming, and I mean screaming, on the touchline for the entire game, even when they were 3-0 up. And that's what I was saying to Will, like, that shows that he was really up for it.
Yes.
Does David Artell never say anything as manager?
I think in that game, I seem to remember, because obviously not that many, there was only like 400 fans there at the EFL Trophy.
Who's David Artell? Sorry, boys, I do apologise,
right.
but...
Real manager.
Real manager, I literally just said it.
Oh, sorry.
David Artell came out in the second half, because usually that's what he does. Usually he just sits there and like watches for the first half, and then when the second half comes, he's on the touchline, which I think is really good. Anyway, he comes off and he says to Charlie Kirk, you can hear him say something like, and pardon my French, but he says, "Start fucking running, or I'll take you off and we'll play with 10." Because obviously you can hear everything, can't you, when there's not that many fans in?
Yeah.
As you now know.
Brilliant.
I thought it was like, what's the typical, we were League 2 at the time. It's a typical kind of lower league thing for a gaffer to just turn around and say, "Start running, or we'll just play with 10 men." And it's also ridiculously brutal. But yeah, we've gone massively off piste. So if you just want to safely guide us back to where we were, Will.
Oh yes. Well, I think we don't need to do the United and Chelsea stats, do we? Because I'm pretty sure we did it in extra time.
We did. We did.
We did. So, right, Liverpool and Sheffield United. That was the next game. And Burge with a silent E.
Sanderberger.
Oh, a burger. Oh, okay. Right.
But I don't know. I've heard.
It's Sanderberg, isn't it?
I don't know.
Berg. Okay.
I've heard some say Berg, but I've also heard some say Sanderberger, so I don't know.
Get some cheese and mayonnaise on him.
I'll go with burger because I like to be different.
Just need to put a bun on him. Okay, that's enough for the burger jokes.
I feel like Sheffield United were quite unlucky. Obviously they had the penalty and Sanderberger, or whatever you want to call him, scores it. Diego Jota makes the impact off the bench and gets the winner.
Yep.
I think Liverpool had a penalty as well, didn't they?
Liverpool, I can't remember. I didn't really watch the highlights.
No, sorry, I'm wrong. Am I wrong? I don't know.
Salah had a goal disallowed, didn't he? And then...
Yes, he did, I think, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Will, you give us some stats and I'm just going to watch the highlights of that game.
Okay. Right.
I feel like I'm right that Liverpool had a penalty as well, but that it shouldn't have been a penalty.
Or tell you what, are you up for doing the stats, Sam?
Well, where are they?
BBC Sport.
No. I tell you what, well, I'll do the next one as you.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so 62% possession for Liverpool, 38% for Sheffield United, 17 shots for Liverpool, 13 for Sheffield United, 5 shots on target for Liverpool, and 2.
Well, take your time.
Yeah, stop laughing.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. I think I'm calm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm calm.
Well, this is really
You
awful.
just
Stop it.
get away.
Yeah, sorry. Right, anyway. 62 per... Oh, no, I've already done that. Where are we? Oh, yeah. Shots on time.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, do it.
Okay. Thank you, Sam, because I'm having a bit of a car crash.
It was the Sheffield United penalty, sorry, that it was a bit, there was a bit of confusion as to whether it should have been a penalty or not. It's quite soft, to be fair.
Okay.
Carry on talking while I get them up.
Oh, right, okay. Right. So, corners, 7. For Liverpool.
Whoa. I thought Sam said he was doing it.
Oh, well, I don't know what really else to say if, while waiting for the Sam
Right,
to do the stats.
there's no point in Sam getting it up if you're going to do it anyway.
Sorry.
Here we are.
Right, okay.
Well, shots on target we were up to, were we?
Yes.
Right, well, it's a bit different on here, so I'm going to go for passes. Passes was 683 for Liverpool, 406 for Sheffield United.
Ooh.
We've done. Not be right. Anyway, but yeah, pass accuracy was 86 for Liverpool, 76 for Sheffield United. Fouls 7 Liverpool, 15 Sheffield United. Yellow cards none for Liverpool, 3 for Sheffield United. Red cards was none apiece. Offsides was 2 for Liverpool, none for Sheffield United. And corners was 7 for Liverpool and 3 for Sheffield United.
Thank you very much, Sam, for that.
Chill out, mate. You're fine.
Yeah, so I just laughed at some of my jokes I did earlier.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
Yeah.
do you need a 5-minute break? Like, do you need us to take over?
Yes, please, mate.
Okay, all right. In which case,
Apologies.
we'll move on to Sunday's games, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
First one
I-
I've got up here is Southampton v Everton. Is that the first one we're doing?
yeah. I mean, there's so much to talk about that game. I mean, I think I predicted
I watched it.
4-2, but I don't know, something that morning. I looked at it when I was looking at what the results were, and I thought, oh, I might just stick a tenner on Southampton. Anyway, I never did it, and they won. So, I probably lost me about 40 quid.
Sod's law,
But, yeah,
that is.
that's typical. I was saying this
Uh,
the other day about all the teams that I didn't choose in my bet the other week were the ones that won. I said if I would have gone with all them, I would have won about 600 quid. But
And what I would say is I watched the game live, and Southampton to a man were absolutely fantastic, all over the pitch. I don't know if you've watched the highlights there, George, but they don't show you everything, like just from it's one of the most complete. I know it's only 2-0, but it's one of the most complete controlled performances I've ever seen. Every player, from the goalie to the subs that came on, was a 9 out of 10.
I tell you, I listened to it on the radio, which obviously, it gives you a sort of a full picture of the game, but you still can't see it. So you still get a better sense than you would if you watch the highlights, but physically you can't see very much.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah.
And you know, what I got from Southampton was they were you know, energetic. They were, you know, I think as well, seeing Danny Ings get an assist instead of goals is, in some ways, it's good, but you know,
Yeah.
in some ways you might say, oh, you know, why has he not scored? But it's good for
No,
him.
he actually he had the whole all round performance. I actually thought it was good because goals came from other areas, and
Yeah,
Che
yeah,
Adams got one of the across, and his actual performance was absolutely outstanding. He's got what you don't realise with Danny Ings, he's got great feet. He's got he's got really good feet, and technically he's very good. Um,
yeah. I think what I was trying to say, Sam, was I think you know, it's really it shows that Danny Ings is becoming a more complete player. That he can you know, make those passes and do those things. I felt like James Ward-Prowse is one of my favourite players in the league. Um,
I like
I know
him.
that
He's maturing.
might sound a bit strange, because he's a bit of an obscure one. You know, he's not from one of the top six, but I think he's the best. You know, him and Milivojevic are the two best set piece takers in the league at the minute. I feel like
Trent as well. Trent as well.
oh, and Trent, yeah, you can't forget Trent. I feel like, you know, his corners are very good. His you know, his free kicks from longer out are very good, and
I agree.
you
You
know,
do not want to be giving a free kick away anywhere from 30 yards from goal upwards with James Ward-Prowse on the end.
they've got a really interesting balance as a team, Southampton, and I've always been interested in what Southampton do as a team. We said it in the deadline day special. I think the signing of Walcott was a great one. He had a decent impact against Chelsea. I don't know whether he play against
You
Everton. I
can't,
can't remember.
you can't play against his parent club.
Oh, he's on loan, isn't he? Of course. Sorry, I forgot that it was a loan. So yeah, and I like that Che Adams is scoring now. I feel like
I always thought he was going to be good. He just needed it. Once he got one, I thought he'll be a good player.
yeah,
Because I really liked him at Birmingham. He was really good.
yeah, no, I also thought the same, and he's another one like Rashford that could have joined Crew. You know, when he was at Ilkeston, he had the choice between Crew. I think it was Crew, Leeds, and Sheffield United, and he went to Sheffield United.
And then went to Birmingham.
Yeah, obviously he was phenomenal for Birmingham. I think you could always see that potential that he was going to be a top player even at Sheffield United. But yeah, like we said, I think Alex McCarthy as well. Let me just give a quick shout out to him in goal. I think he's great.
Yeah, I think I have to say, Southampton are one of those teams, like the energy they played with and without the ball to a man. So Hasenhuttl didn't make a substitution of them into like the 84th minute or something like that. But the energy in both halves, and this is why I say it's a complete performance. They just, you might look at me and say, well, 2-0 isn't a complete performance, but it was. To a man, defensively, they were brilliant. They pressed. They absolutely bossed the midfield. They bossed Everton off the park. And after the first 10 minutes, which was quite even, but after then, it was all Southampton. And the energy levels they kept up. The only thing I'd say about Southampton is, like, they're one of those teams that cause I like Hasenhuttl a lot. I like his honesty. I think he was brilliant staying when they lost 9-0 to Leicester, and credit to the board for sticking by him. You don't often say that these days. The one thing I will say is I think they're a funny team, aren't they? Because for Southampton to play well, because of their pressing nature and the way they play, if they're not quite on it, then they're either really good or rubbish, and it's because if they're not quite on it as a team, then the other team get on top, and but when the pressing game's on, you don't want to be they're a nightmare because they seem to lose a couple and then win a couple, and but when they're on it, they're fun. You know, like when Wigan played in the Premiership, I know it's a bit different, but and like they'd lose to I don't know, they'd lose to Blackpool one week and then beat Arsenal the next week.
Yeah,
It's a bit like that.
With Franco Di Santo up front,
Yeah,
Jason Kumas in midfield.
yeah.
Gone are the days of those kind of players, mate. But yeah, no, I understand, and I think what works for Hausenhutel is that he mixes kind of everything good about the German game, you know, the pressing, the free flowing counter, with everything that's good about the English game, you know, defensive stability, good transitional play, and clinical finishing, and I think that's what works for him. Yeah, you know, they're not. The only problem is they haven't got, you know, they've got a good balanced team, but they've not got, you know, 5 or 6, you know, world beaters. You know what I mean?
And they also don't have massive strength in depth. So like the quality of the players throughout the squad. And I imagine they get quite tired because it's quite intense. I imagine playing under Hasenhuttl. But I really do like him. I like his honesty. I like the way he goes about his business. And I have to say, I like Southampton as a club. I think as an image, like a bit like I imagine Crew would be in the top level. Like if they were up there. They've got a similar ethos, as in like they bring some great young players through, and they're a good club. I like Southampton as a club. I don't know what you
mean, the only problem with Crew is that, like, you know, with everything that happened with Barry Burnell, I don't think any young players would step anywhere near Crew anymore. But I understand what you mean, and I think that's why I resonate with Southampton quite a lot, because I really I love it for Crew in my own experience, when you go to the games like your EFL Trophy and like your Cheshire Senior Cup, when you've got random 16-year-olds that you'd never heard of, and they have the absolute game of their life. And I like that. I like that Will Jääskeläinen, for example, Crew's number 1 and the son of Bolton and West Ham's Jussi Jääskeläinen, was on loan at Nantwich Town the season before, and now and the last game he played was his 50th game for the Alex, which I think is great. And I think you see that with Southampton, you know, Oxlade-Chamberlain in the first team at 16, Luke Shaw in the first team at 16,
Gareth Bale.
James Ward-Prowse was 16, Gareth Bale was 16, Walcott was 16. You know what I mean? So that sort of Obafemi, I think Obafemi was 16, wasn't he? I know he's one that's still there now, and you know the jury's still out on him. I think
Is he English?
He's Irish, isn't he?
Who's the Irish? It's a shame.
But yeah, he's you know, I
Matt Le Tissier.
Yeah, Matt Le Tissier, one of the
Alan Shearer.
Yeah, I think people forget about Shearer, you know.
Did you know that, man?
People forget Shearer was there before he was at Blackburn, or
yes, I did know Alan Shearer was at Blackburn, yes.
No, was at Southampton's academy and then came through.
Oh, no, I did know that.
Interesting.
No, did know that at all.
I think it was the days before the Premier League, wasn't it?
Oh, right.
He made his debut in '88, so
wow.
The old First Division, and I think he was he was 21 when he scored the first hat trick for Blackburn, so he would have been 18 when he
17, I think, when he broke into the team.
Yeah, I know. And then you think about what Southampton also did for certain players that didn't come through the academy. You know, basically kick-started Peter Crouch's career, and then you look at players like Lambert and Lallana and Schneiderlin and Jack Cork and Sadio Mane and
Nathaniel
Klein, Van Dijk. You know, a brilliant club, and I think as well. You know,
Wanyama.
Wanyama. He's in the MLS now, isn't he?
Is he? I liked him. I really liked
Victor
him.
Wanyama.
He's at Montreal with Thierry Henry.
Oh yeah, was at Spurs for quite a long time as well.
And Celtic.
Was he? Did he play for Celtic?
Wanyama, when obviously he first signed from Celtic, I always thought that a lot of those players actually played better for, you know, within that Southampton team, and you know, going to big clubs didn't really work out for him. You look at obviously Luke Shaw's a great example, and but one of the Schneiderlin's a good example, and
yeah, definitely Schneiderlin.
I think he was older, wasn't he?
Wanyama was a good example. He should never really gone, and Dejan Lovren, obviously.
Yes.
He did well at Spurs, Wanyama.
Wanyama did.
He was in the team a lot.
Wanyama did okay. He didn't do amazing. Obviously, he got his place took by Harry Winks, who is bang average in my opinion.
What, Winks?
Yeah.
I like Harry Winks.
Yeah, no, I really like Southampton. And your thoughts on the Digne red card, Sam?
I thought it was a stupid challenge. He'd actually.
Yeah,
he probably
chased him. I think
you probably didn't see this in commentary, but he with it being on the radio, but he'd lost his head.
No, he
before
chased him down, didn't he? He chased the lad down. I think that's why he got sent off, because obviously you watch the replays, you can see that he's chased the lad down, and then he's just crunched him straight in the leg. So
could have broken his leg.
Yeah.
I mean, his studs were showing right down the back of the leg. And his eyes were not on the ball. It was a horrible challenge.
Yeah, Ancelotti turned around and said it was to do with the Pickford challenge. It wasn't. It was just a naughty challenge. You shouldn't be doing stuff like that.
He thinks he's in the Colombian national team, probably.
Didn't you say that the other week?
Oh gosh, maybe I did, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think
Definite red card.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to signal a massive drop of form for Everton. I think
it's going to be a miss, though, surely, for them.
No. I mean the result in general.
Oh, sorry, apologies.
Digne is one of the better fullbacks in the league. I really like him. I think he will be a miss. But
yes.
I think the result in general obviously was. I don't think it'll derail them. I think sometimes you do get those results where a team will come and they'll be really regimented and they'll play really well, and then they'll nick a goal or two because they've played well and they've been sharp and they've been up for it.
Yeah.
Another example I can think of is Southampton against Man City last season when Che Adams scored a 40-yarder or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they absolutely defended for their life, and that's the thing. I think results like that do matter more to the lower table teams, and sometimes, the quality just shines through for the bigger teams. But it's
yes, please.
It's good. So it's good to see that Southampton got the win there.
I think Everton had an off day as well.
Yeah, they didn't.
No, Richarlison as well.
Yeah, and that's a big miss, I think.
Sam's favourite was starting and then got taken off in the second half, Alex Iwobi.
Yeah. The man that's better than Sancho.
Yeah, he didn't have his best game, but he'll be back.
What, Iwobi?
No, he was awful. Let's be honest.
Right, anyway, I
he,
think I'm
ru-
ready to come back
he,
in now, boys, I think.
he rushed everything. He didn't slow down and take his time.
Which you have to do, really.
You do when you're in the final third.
Yep.
So next we're looking at Wolves.
Hang on, do you want the stats?
I think we did this. Oh, hang on. I'm just trying to think.
I'm just thinking, Will. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just thinking. We've been going for 2 hours and nearly 2.5 hours on the stream.
Holy fudge!
All right, mate. Yeah, no. We've been going for quite a while and we've still got loads to cover. So I think it might be in our best interest
to move on. Yeah.
Hurry up a little bit. Next up, Newcastle and Wolves. Well, Wolves, Newcastle. Wolves being the home team. I don't know if you saw the highlights. It was a bit of a boring.
I only saw the first one.
Yeah, it was quite a drab one, wasn't it?
Obviously, Josh Murphy. Is it Josh Murphy or Jacob Murphy? There's two of them.
Jacob, I think.
Josh plays for Cardiff.
Yeah, Jacob Murphy saved the points for Newcastle with what I thought was a really good free kick.
He played well because he played in the right back, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was also a very good goal from Jimenez. What I saw, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
I didn't see it.
I really like Carl Darlow, and I know that once Dubravka comes back, he's not going to keep his place. But I just want to say, Carl Darlow, I think, is a phenomenal goalkeeper.
He should be a number one somewhere.
Yeah.
Like Martinez, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think, obviously, Dubravka, from what I've seen of Dubravka, he's quite highly rated, and I agree, I think he's great. Although, when you look at his stats, like errors leading to goals, it doesn't necessarily back that up, but I think he's really good. But Darlow, I've always liked. When he was at Forest, I thought he was good. And
you said on the show, haven't you, before how you like Darlow?
Yeah, the same as I did about Martinez. I mean.
Yeah, I liked Martinez as well. I thought he was very good for Arsenal.
Well, yeah. A good result for Newcastle, but again, from what I've heard and what I've seen, definitely negative from Steve Bruce, which isn't great. I wonder what's going to happen with Bruce. I like it.
Why was it negative? Because he played all attackers.
Yeah, but there's talking about how he sat back and invited the pressure and waited for Wolves to attack and all that kind of stuff.
His style of football is often very boring.
Well, he said that, or somebody else said that.
No, obviously from stuff I've seen, I don't like his style of play, and also, Newcastle fans are really unhappy with the way he plays.
Yeah, they don't even if he does really well, I don't think they'll ever like him.
I'll tell you something, and I said this on the show at the time. If Newcastle wouldn't have invited so much United pressure, I think they could have got something out of that game.
They sat back again a bit too much. Against Wolves, they had a really attacking lineup with Fraser, Wilson, St. Maximan, who else was in there? Almiron.
They're quite inconsistent, aren't they, Newcastle? Because they've won they've won a few games, but they've also lost a few games as well.
They've not won in a while, have they, though?
No, I don't think so, actually.
But it's weird because they obviously started great.
Yes.
So let's move on to the next game.
Yep.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
So,
I didn't know whether you were waiting to say something or not, and I was like an awkward silence.
yeah, I was a bit confused then.
I just thought of something. My dad, when Wolves were playing against Newcastle, said, "Cornetto."
What did he say?
Like Pedro Neto.
Yeah, and he went, "Cornetto, he can play."
Oh, that's funny. Like the ice cream.
Cornetto. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny as well? I actually like Pedro Neto.
Yeah, he's good, I think. Yeah.
Considering I'd never heard of him before he went to Wolves.
Where did he come from?
Space.
Was it what? I think it was Braga. You're such a weirdo, Will.
Sorry.
I think he came from Braga, so
Why can't Adama Traore get inside?
Well, I've said this before. When he started, he's never been the same as when he's come off the bench. Because obviously he's one of those players, when he comes off the bench, he's got all that pace. But when he's started, he's never seemed to me like he's shown the same for me.
Have you seen the state of him? He's an absolute man mountain, isn't he? He's an absolute unit.
I'd play him. He'd be in my first team.
What, is he fat, is he?
No, I mean, have you seen the state of his arms? He's the muscliest fellow I've ever seen.
My mum loves him.
I can understand why the women would enjoy him.
My mum told my dad that he'd have no open.
Well, you know, what is it? In fact, there was something I was going to say, but I don't know if you can really say it anymore. I was going to say, you know what they say about that?
Yeah.
You know, once you go black, you never go back.
Oh yeah, don't go there, especially with things how they are at the moment. That's too far.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, yeah, but it's a really sensitive subject.
Is he a Spanish international now?
Yes.
I think he is, yeah.
Because if he didn't play in the last game, he was going to go and play for Mali, wasn't he?
I don't know, actually.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I've always liked Dom Traore. I think he'd start for me just because he is pure pace like I've not seen in a long time. Not since like Bale in his day.
He's quicker than Bale.
You know, like remember that goal that Bale scored against Madrid, against Barcelona for Madrid, where he run like 80 yards.
Oh, the one where he muscled past ran on the outside, and then played the ball past the man, ran on the outside, and then I remember.
Yeah. So, just quickly, because we've only got 3 more games to go, and then we need to very quickly do our predictions, and then we'll be off. Arsenal 0, Leicester 1.
Yes. Jamie Vardy.
Yeah. A brilliant ball from Yuri Tielemans into Chenzik Unde, who crossed into Jamie Vardy.
I didn't realise he was at Leicester until the other day.
What, Tielemans?
No, Unde.
Would you? I've got a bit of a quiz question for you, right? So I know the answer to this because it came up. My friend who Sam knows because he spoke to him, my friend Kevin, asked me a question thinking I wouldn't know the answer, but he asked me, name 3 Turkish players that have all played for Leicester. There's 3. Can you name them?
Saying true.
Is
Yeah.
Flamani Turkey?
No. I'll give it to him.
Oh, right.
Saying true.
Yeah.
Under.
Yeah.
As he can. And Benayoun.
No.
Oh, he's
You
not.
Benalune. Benalune was Tunisian.
Yeah, him. I thought I had it. The last Turkey.
What about Daniel
when he was-
Amate? Is he Turkish?
He's Ghanaian.
Oh, right.
Well.
I'll tell you now.
My God,
It's a
don't tell me.
It's a player that played
When did-
from over 20 years ago. So I guarantee there's no way Will's gonna know it. But I
He
think
played
Sam-
for Leicester. He played for Leicester 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the year 2000.
We're talking about the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'll have to pass. I don't know last month.
It's Muzzy, is it?
Who?
Oh yeah.
Muzzy, isn't it?
So, who, what's his name? Sorry.
Muzzy, is it?
No, never heard of him.
He was in the same Leicester team as Robbie Savage and Neil Lennon and Jerry Taggart.
Oh, right, well, it obviously helps that Robbie Savage is a pundit, so that's why that's why I've heard of him.
I'm not on about Robbie Savage.
Yeah, I know, I'm just making the point because I've not heard of whoever you're talking about because I don't think, if they've
You've
not been
heard
a
of
pundit, chances
You've
are
heard
I've
of
not
Neil
heard of them.
Lennon, haven't you, Will?
What's that?
You've heard of Neil Lennon?
Oh, yes, well, because he's Celtic manager.
Shall I tell you something interesting about him that you probably don't know, Will?
Yeah, okay.
He used to play for Crewe,
Really?
and so did Robbie Savage.
Oh, I knew
And so
Robbie
did-
Savage did.
And so did
And
Danny
so did
Murphy.
David. And so did David Platt. And so did David Platt.
And so did Seth Johnson.
And so did Bruce Braggett. I can't. It was Grabber.
Grobbelaar.
Bruce Grobbelaar, yeah.
and
Not
so
heard of the
did-
Bruce guy, but I've heard of some of the others.
You haven't heard of Bruce Grobbelaar?
No.
The most
Oh,
crazy
I forgot.
goalkeeper.
I quit this show, I really do.
Is he
Well-
French?
No, he's from, oh god, where is he from? Zimbabwe? Is it Zimbabwe?
Yeah, I think so. He was a keeper for Liverpool after he played for Crewe.
Oh,
And he
right.
was called crazy. And he was called crazy because he used to like stop the ball doing crazy like acrobatic stuff.
When we talking, what era?
The 90s.
In the 80s, wasn't it?
80s and 90s, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
What did you know, Will? What current, alright, don't answer this, Jordan, because I know you'll know it. But this is a question for Will,
Oh, go on then.
and we've talked about it on this show before.
Yes.
What current player played in the starting lineup for a Premier League team this weekend that played for Crewe at the start of his career? He didn't come from Crewe, but he played on loan at Crewe. There's his.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I've forgotten. I know we have said this before. No, put me out of my misery. I've forgotten.
Gylfi Sigurdsson.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh.
Right. Anyway, back to the Arsenal game. We're really dropping off here.
Yeah, so it's not been a great show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So our
speak for yourself.
no, Will's just had one of his poorest performances ever, and that's even poor by Will's standard.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with us?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So obviously, Lacazette had the goal disallowed. Did we agree with that? Have we seen it?
I thought it was borderline.
Yeah, it's another one of those kind of borderline. It was a tough call, I think. But obviously, as long as it was, within whatever the rule is for offside, as long as it was within the rule of the game, I can get behind that it wasn't offside. It's good that Chen Digrunda had a good impact. He was very highly thought of at Roma, but he didn't really make the grade. Kind of like Justin Kluivert.
A bit like Yuri Tillemans as well at Monaco.
Yeah,
He struggled.
Yeah. So here's another one of an absolute, classic from Will. Will thought that Justin Kluivert's dad, who he didn't know the name of, by the way, he thought he played for Man United.
No, Arsenal.
Arsenal, that's it.
It's because he played for Ajax, and I tend to think of lots of Ajax and Arsenal players. So I just
There have been a few.
Yeah, loads. Yeah.
What's the name of Justin Kluivert's dad?
Patrick.
No, I didn't ask you. Oh, for God's sake.
I was about to say Ray. I was, but
Ray. Oh yeah, Ray Kluivert.
He is Patrick Kluivert's son, isn't he?
yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Clive.
Ray Kluivert.
Well, I think it sounds pretty good.
Sounds like a jazz singer. Can you tell me an interesting fact about Patrick Kluivert, Sam?
An interesting fact about Patrick Kluivert.
Yeah.
I've seen him play at a United testimonial, not a testimonial, a Legends match against Barcelona at 11.
That's cool. What I was looking for was that he's the youngest ever Champions League winner.
I didn't know that, but yeah, you are right.
Let's move on anyway to Monday's games. There was West Brom 1 and Brighton 1. Jake Livermore own goal was cancelled out by Carlin Ahern Grant. So I think he doesn't go by Carlin Ahern Grant anymore, does he? He's just Carlin Grant nowadays, isn't he? But when he played for Charlton in the Championship, he was like, when he very first came through, he was Carlin Ahern Grant or something like that. But yeah, Carlin Grant's first goal for West Brom. I thought it was a great goal, by the way.
I've not seen it.
I always liked Carlin Grant, and I feel like he's gonna. I always remember his first goal for Huddersfield when he signed for them in the Premier League. I feel like he's going to score some goals for them, so that's good. If you've not seen it and you've not seen it either, Will, I think we'd best move on.
Okay.
Tottenham and Burnley.
Yeah.
I've seen the highlights. Burnley looked a bit unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually watched a YouTube video where it was a live watch along, but the guys that were doing the watch along, they said it was a shit game, so they weren't really watching it. But I know that I've seen the highlights. Harry Kane flicks the header on. I think he's trying to score, isn't he? He's obviously trying to score, Harry Kane, but it just goes into the path of Heung-min Son, who just nods it in, and I think they're probably the most threatening partnership in the Prem at the minute, even more than Mane, Firmino, and Salah, in my opinion.
That's not a partnership, that's a trio.
Yeah, but there's 3 partners. It is kind of a partnership.
No, it's not. A partnership's 2 people.
Not necessarily.
That's what I tend to think of a partnership.
Well, okay, but whatever then. But I think that they are the deadliest partnership in the league at the minute. And Burnley, we talked a bit about them. I said yesterday, they're subject to a £200 million takeover. If that happens, I think the happiest person in Burnley would probably be Sean Dyche, because he could actually go out and buy some players.
Unless they want to get rid of him.
Yeah, where's that come from? All this takeover talk. I only heard about it today.
Yeah, I heard about it yesterday.
Well, they've kept that under the radar, haven't they?
Yeah. No, I always feel like those ones are a bit weird, because they're the sort of ones that usually don't go through. With that being said, because we've got yet another awkward silence for some.
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing?
Sorry, mate. It's Will's tunnel.
No, I know exactly. That's what I'm saying to poor Will. What's he doing?
So sorry, apologies, guys. I thought you'd have more to.
Well, we don't know too much about it, do we? So.
Okay. Right, and then I think that's all the games, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Are we gonna move into
predictions? Yep.
My favourite bit of the show.
Yeah, I always enjoy this as well. So.
I know that we're getting near the end.
Well, it might be good for you, because it's the only bit that doesn't require any knowledge, Will.
Oh yeah. So it's been a bit of, but it's been a very car crash for me tonight.
What's changed?
I don't know, mate. Just sometimes you obviously have one bad show and then.
Oh, never mind.
Oh dear.
For God's sake.
Don't matter, Will. Don't matter.
Okay.
What's the first game then, eh?
So Friday the 30th of October is Wolves v Crystal Palace.
Oh. I'm going to go for Palace, I think, because I don't think Wolves have been that great. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Palace win.
Sam?
I'm going to go... Can you... Oh, never mind. Right. I'm going to... Sorry about the music, everyone. I think my parents are just having a midlife crisis. Anyway.
I can't hear the music.
I can, actually. I wonder what the hell that is.
Bloody hell.
I hope they're playing something decent.
It
Sounds
like
Irish. Let me shut the door.
It could be the Pogues or Westlife or Boyzone.
Goodness, it's gone. Right. So, what is it? Wolves, Palace.
Wolves and Pie.
Bloody hell. Oh God, there's another one.
Oh my God, I can hear
that. Shut up!
I think it does sound very Pogues-ish, actually. Yeah.
God's sake, shut up!
Could just imagine Shane McGowan, his drunk voice all over that.
Right. I'm gonna go for a 0-0 draw.
Okay, I think that's a good shout, but I'm going to stick with my 2-1 Palace. What about you, Will?
I'm going for a 0-0 as well. Yeah.
Okay, the 3 o'clock, what's the...
Saturday the 31st of October. Will we get a Halloween trick or treat or scares?
That's not how it goes. Imagine opening the door. Trick or treat upstairs. I give up. I give up.
I already know.
I'm handing in my resignation.
Well, we're changing the host.
Maybe I should take a break after this.
We'll pay you off.
Yeah, I will pay you money to stop talking.
Okay. Anyway.
Me and Sam will take over. You just shut up and we'll do it.
Okay, that's fine.
Right.
That's probably the best thing.
Sheffield United, Man City. Prediction, please, Will.
I'm going to go for City to go back to winning ways, especially because Sheffield United have struggled. I'm going to go 3-0 City.
Samuel?
3-1 City.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for 3-1 City as well with Sam. 3 o'clock kickoff, Burnley-Chelsea. I'm going to go for... Oh, I don't know. It's always tough at Turf Moor, isn't it? I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea. Will?
3-0 Chelsea, because Burnley have not been great at all. So
Samuel?
2-1 Chelsea.
Liverpool West Ham at R5. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
2-1 Liverpool for me.
Samuel?
2-0 West Ham.
Good boy.
Ooh.
I like that. Sunday, 12 o'clock, Villa Southampton. I'm going to go
Oh, excuse me.
I'm going to go for 2-1 Villa. No, 2-1 Southampton, sorry. Sam?
1-0 Southampton.
William?
2-2. 2-2. Yeah, 2-2.
What was that? 2-2. I'm bloody hell. Like, waiting for a ball.
Probably because I called him William. I never called him William.
Yeah, it just slightly. Yeah, it just that's quite odd. So it
Right,
just,
moving on.
Newcastle Everton at 4 o'clock. I'm going to go for a 4-1 Everton win. Will?
yes, I'll go with 4-0 Everton. Actually, yeah, 4-0.
Samuel?
I'm gonna go. What is it? Newcastle we're playing.
Newcastle Everton.
I'm gonna go 1-0 Everton.
Okay. Manchester United and Arsenal. I'm going to go for a... I don't know, every time we say United are going to lose, they win. So I'm going to say a 2-1 United win and hope they lose. Sam?
3-0 Arsenal.
Ooh.
2-1
Will?
United. Yeah.
Okay. Tottenham Brighton. I'm going to go for... Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go for a 3-0 Tottenham.
2-0 Spurs for me.
Okay.
3-1 Brighton.
3-1 Brighton.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like the way you think, young sir. I like the way you think. Monday, 5:30, Fulham West Brom.
1-1 for me.
0 written all over it.
No, I don't know. I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Brom win.
I'm going 1-1.
Actually, can I revise my my prediction?
Sure.
I'm gonna go 2-0 West Brom.
Okay. I like your thinking. And then at 8 o'clock, Leeds versus Leicester, which I'm going to go for a...
This should be a cracking game.
I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. Will?
I'm going to go 2-2, yeah. Lots of goals.
5-3 Leeds.
Jesus.
Ooh.
Okay. So, that's everything. And because Will's forgotten how to speak without laughing, me and Sam will play you out. Right.
Yes. So I'll do the first part. Thank you.
I was going to do
Hang
the
on.
second part.
I'll beat
Yeah,
you
but you
to
do
it.
the second part really well. You know, the
All right,
share
then.
and subscribe.
All right.
That is it from all of us here at the TubeMix channel. Obviously, we have been your host. It's myself, Jordan, Samuel, and Mr. TubeMix.
Thank you.
We've enjoyed it very much, despite the fact that Will doesn't know how to string a sentence together right now. and you'll see us. I think on Sunday it's 3:30 for the build-up of Man United and Arsenal, and then a little bit later on for the
4:30.
post-match.
Oh no, sorry, hang on. Oh, yes.
3:30, and it starts at 4:30. Right, sure, let us do it, right?
Sorry.
It's a 3:30, and it starts at 4:30, and then a little bit later on, we'll be doing the post-match, which I think I might be joining in on, because I think Will wants to do it a little bit later on. And then,
Ideally, yes.
yeah, and then you'll see us again next Thursday for the review show, which, depending on whether I'm doing days or nights, I might not be able to do, but we'll see how
I
we
can
do then.
do it.
And I'm going to pass you over to Sam to give you the final spiel. But from me, it's thank you and good night.
Right, well, firstly, I just want to say, because I know TubeMix, forgets very easily, and we don't have any comments, do we, before we finish?
Oh, that's a good shout, actually.
No.
No. Right, so, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I know it's been a bit of a disjointed, show tonight because of the
Very subtle.
because of a certain individual. So I'll be joking, but we don't say names on this show. So only messing TubeMix. You do a good job.
I know. Thank you.
Mix by name.
Yeah.
So
Pick a mix.
So anyway, so anyway, I would like to say, please keep your comments coming in, people. We need them on the show. And we had a great little run last week with people asking us questions, and I believe last night as well.
Yeah.
So please.
Yeah, last night as well. Yeah.
Please keep your comments coming in, even if it's not about football, and you just want to chat. Just get obviously preferably about football, but we'll answer anything, won't we, lads? So keep them coming in, because we really like your input. And, even when we're discussing things, keep chatting to us as well, and have your say. If you've liked the show, please share, comment, and subscribe to the TubeMix channel. Not sure why you would tonight, but
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, just do it anyway. Come on, guys. It's one click. It's one click. That's all you have to do. So just do it, and we will see you next this coming Sunday for United v Arsenal. What is now what was the now Liverpool against City when it was the main attraction of the Premier League. We'll see you for then. From all of us, me, Sam Taylor, and the rest of the TubeMix team. Goodbye.